Hi, this is Daniel Warren Hill, and I am here with Crashing Atlas today. I have Nick, Marina, and Paul on the line to talk about their recent Wammie victories. That's plural. Thanks for joining us on the call today.
Yeah, thanks
Thanks for having us.
Oh, absolutely a pleasure. So obviously, one Wammie is like a coveted award for most DMV area musicians. You snagged three, and you're very, swinging the round, if you will. So tell us a little bit about what you must have felt like walking away from that victory.
Oh, we were in a good mood. We were stoked.
We got drunk after.
We
have so much
really
respect
hard.
for the DC music scene as a whole, and it really just it felt great. And there were aside from winning the awards was great and everything, but I think the most valuable thing coming out of it was networking and getting to meet all these other artists there, and it was really a fantastic event. And a big shout out to everyone that we met there, just the DC scene as a whole.
So, as far as the Black Sky Sunrise Best Hard Rock album, of course, stiff competition between local friends. Who or what do you think it was about Black Sky Sunrise that kind of stood out from other submissions in the genre?
I checked out a few of the submissions, and all of it was good music. I think I listened to probably at least 90% of the submission, maybe even all of them, and everything was good. I found that our album was longer than most. I'm not sure if I'm remembering all of them, but some of the albums that were reviewed were 3 or 5 songs. Ours was 10, so maybe that helped us. But also, we worked with obviously working with Marina, Nick, and Doug. I just think we wrote great songs. But one thing that also really helped us, I think, was the producers and the mixing talent that we had. We worked with top-notch professionals. Our mixer was Sam Guayana, who works with Silverstein. So we're working with pros here, and it's great if you can write a good song, but if your production sucks, your production sucks. So I think it's honestly just all the great people that we got to work with.
Yeah, credit to them.
Well, that translated into, of course, Best Hard Rock Song, Kerosene. What can you tell us about that song specifically?
Kerosene is definitely one of the more interesting songs on the album. A lot of our songs will kind of balance some of the more heavy, in-your-face, intense parts with more kind of pulled back or electronic aspects. Kerosene was one of the songs, I think, throughout the entire writing process, all of us were we really like this one. And it's a kind of directly in your face. It's like a freight train that just does not stop the whole way through. And I think that prolonged intensity throughout the whole song is really spoke to people. Maybe it's a good song to go to the gym with, or you're going on a run or something. And I think it had this kind of angst to it that I think that's what I like about it.
I think when we were writing that song, Doug and I were saying, because we do use a lot of synth and kind of pop sensibilities within the record. And with that song in specific, I remember we said, we want this song to be the kind of thing that we don't need any backing tracks or anything to go with. We just want it to be a straightforward, balls to the wall rock song.
Success.
Yeah, that was the song that all of us, we all kind of the album's 10 songs long. We were all kind of choosing what are our favorites? If we had to rank some, in order of importance, what do we want to make music videos for? What do we want to, in terms of marketing, what do we want to sink our time into? And all of us had kind of similar lists. Maybe I liked song A, B, C, and D. Nick liked song A, B, D, and F. But every single one of us was Kerosene is a banger. I think we were all kind of this is our top 1 or top 2. And it's doing well on Spotify. People seem to like it. Judges seem to like it.
It's a song I think everyone in the band got to shine a bit in, which I thought was awesome. Everyone got to have a lot of fun on it. Whether it's the big guitar breakdown there, Paul doing the double kick stuff, and Marina vocally obviously doesn't need any introduction. I think there's something kind of for everyone that likes rock music on that song. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and as Marina's vocal coach, I take a lot of pride in how well she sounded in that song, and it's
and me, Doug, and Paul got to do gig vocals on that too. So
true.
Those are always fun.
We're singing, quote unquote.
Yeah,
on
it
that
was a real team singing effort on that one.
Yeah,
lush, rich harmonies.
Just screaming like one word every now and then.
There's the behind the scenes footage of us recording that part is as much of a train wreck as it sounds.
I'm saying, like Daniel, like I'm saying, they like we couldn't give them all headphones to like record and hear like the click to count in. So I'd be like 1, 2, 3, and they'd be like starving. It was so funny.
Even adding to that, so there was, right as she said, there was one set of like headphones where you can hear the click go, right? And so we're all trying to keep time, but there's only one click. So she's like slapping our backs.
Tapping her back.
And I think she's hitting me, and then I'm hitting Doug. And it's like and like I'm a drummer, so I'm used to like the click, like I live in the click. So but it's a little harder when you have multiple people. It's like a game of telephone. Nothing quite works right. So it took about 500 takes.
It was hilarious.
It was funny. Yeah.
It was definitely a highlight of a memory of recording the album.
Yeah.
Well, after winning Hard Rock Best Album and Hard Rock Best Song, it kind of makes sense that you'd walk away with the Best Hard Rock Band of the Year, right? You joined, of course, like a fine legacy of best hard rock artists and groups inside of the DMV. But since the musicianship took over, those artists have been Black Dog Prowl, Clutch, and Fellowcraft. Have you ever had a chance to, work with any of those bands, or how do you feel about being in that company?
I know Brian from Fellowcraft really well. I used to play in a different cover band a while back, and we actually played with Black Dog Prowl and with Fellowcraft before. So I got to know a lot of those guys. And I know like Black Dog Prowl, they had that really good Helter Skelter cover they did, right, which was phenomenal. And I remember seeing those guys, like, fantastic, great company to be in with all of them. And it's, just really humbling to, have our name with right alongside so many great local acts.
Yeah, and me and Nick and I used to play in an Offspring cover band with Seth Spalding, who was in Black Dog Prowl. And it's funny because we were in the cover band for like a little bit, and then Seth hits me up one day. He's like, "Hey, I'm playing at Villain Saint tonight. You want to come out?" And I'm like, "Sure." And I see them. I'm like, "Oh, you're in Black Dog Prowl. Cool, nice. I know this band." Yeah, I'm like, "Nice, Seth. You're more important than I thought."
Seth's good people.
It's really great what a small community you find out, the DMV scene really is.
Yep. Yeah. Everyone's like plays in each other's bands and stuff. And that's something I really like about this local scene is I think everyone's super supportive. And I know some scenes can feel a little bit more competitive or stuff like that, but it's just everyone helps each other out. And it's just really good vibes in the DC area.
You have a couple of live performances scheduled coming up. You're performing in Pennsylvania, in North Carolina, and Wisconsin throughout the year. I assume those are teasers, right? Those must be ways for you to fill in the rest of a tour, right?
Oh yeah, we're working on it. I got a lot of stuff in the books right now. We're very close to getting some more shows out for everybody, but it'll be great. We actually just played a show, our first DC show really, at Pearl Street Warehouse the other day, and we had a fantastic time. We played with Burn the Ballroom. They're like a Nashville DC band, and we had a great time. And I think we're really looking forward to playing more DC gigs this year and going forward, because in the past, I think we've kind of put a lot of focus on Baltimore, but especially since the Wammie win and getting a little closer with the DC scene in general, I think we really want to put a lot of attention on it.
Yeah, the reason we actually got that gig with Burn the Ballroom was because they were submitted for I think like best rock band or best rock song for the Wammies as well, and they reached out to us and said like, "Hey, we found you on the like the Wammies submissions website. You want to get a show together?" And we did. And
it was
awesome.
A great gig.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
They're awesome musicians.
That's great. The Wammies are facilitating further collaborative efforts. So fantastic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Are there any particular like cities aside from DC that you really hope to get into, or other artists that you kind of hope to share a stage with or share the road with at some point?
I mean, we're just excited to get out and start playing shows right now. Like, it's just been so long since we've really gotten a chance to, play our own music. And, we've been working on the album for so long. And I think we're all just really excited to go out and play it live. Like, I mean, of course, there's cities like I'd love to go play in Nashville. I'd love to play in New York City. Like, I'd love to play in some really dope cities like that. I'd love to get into Florida and like, Dallas and stuff like that. That would be really cool and fun. But overall, I'm just like, I can't wait to see everybody this summer. and just play some awesome shows.
The cities I want to play at are specifically driven by the local food there. That's how I want to book the tours. Just off
New Orleans, Narlands, I believe
we're playing up in July up in Wisconsin. We're Rockfest. I think we're one of the bands on the bill. I know the headliners are like Mudvayne's the day we're playing.
Shine down too.
You get the Wisconsin cheese curds.
We got to get the cheese curds.
It's a win-win.
Nick and I love cheese curds.
Yeah, we'll play anywhere.
What's a hot dog called out there? A blizzy?
A glizzy. I think
a glizzy.
A glizzy.
That's your soundbite. Nick and I love cheese curds.
Yeah, I'm waiting for us to play with Disturbed too. Maybe they'll hit us back one day.
Yeah,
maybe David will give me a call. My good friend David Draymond will give me a call.
Your good friend.
Well, maybe not just by city. Maybe you could try to connect with bands with, illustrious chefs in them.
We have a chef in our band, actually.
Who's that?
Doug.
Me. Doug thinks it's him, but it's me.
Paul makes a wicked bowl of ramen.
Doug used to literally work in the White House as a cook for like Obama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now he cooks for Crashing Atlas.
I wish.
Oh, he never
You gotta cook for buddy.
I've literally cooked for Doug.
That's great.
He doesn't share his gifts with us. They're just like, he has to keep them to himself.
Well, you get the drums, right? So no, Paul's the drums.
I'm the drums.
Dougie does guitars, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Look at me. I can remember things.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm drums and vocal coaching. So
Vocal coaching.
right.
Yes,
Paul
I would be
also
nothing without. I would be nothing without Paul.
On the Wammie Award-winning band, Paul actually gets credit making a wind noise on the intro of one of our songs. So there you go, Paul.
Vocals.
We wanted like this like eerie kind of wind sound. Paul, you can describe it probably.
if you check out our album, if you look, I think it's like the 7th or 8th track. It's called Sanity and Madness. Actually, here's something embarrassing. I don't even know the name of the title. Is it Sanity in Madness or Sanity and Madness? Because I don't remember. It's in. Okay, because I always get that wrong.
Pull it up, spot.
Because I call the song Exhale. Long story, but yeah, at the beginning of it, if you check it out, in like the first, I don't know, 15 seconds or so, there's like a piano synth intro. If you listen really carefully, you can hear me go. And let me just tell you, it pulls the album together. Without it, the album's nothing. Without it, no whammy. There is no whammy.
Any bands listening, if you need a wind guy, just hit us up. We'll contract Paul out to you. He'll come. You know, he has to sleep
For
on
a
your
very
couch.
reasonable fee too.
Twitter handle at vocal coach Paul Grossman. I do not have a Twitter.
Some Paul Grossman out there that's a vocal coach is going to be really confused when people start sending
Everyone's asking
messages.
for wind.
Oh yeah, he's gonna get millions. He's gonna get millions of DMs.
Well, thank you all so much for joining me here today. Again, I'm here with Nick, Marina, and Paul of Crashing Atlas, celebrating not one, not two, but 3 Wammie wins all in one fell swoop. Thank you for joining me on the call today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.